We're currently having an exhibit for the Thread show. So it's a reception celebrating all the art and artists of this show. It's a textile art show, but it's also open to interpretation if someone wants to interpret it as the thread of life and weaving people together. It's the beauty of art.
And you are?
Hi, I'm Brisha Kralovic-Logan. I'm a textile fiber artist and the juror of this show called Threads. It's my honor and very excited to have that invitation to have people kind of think maybe outside of the box and to draw in some different kind of art, especially since I'm a textile artist. So I love that the show includes photography, ceramics, painting, you know, all of the usual, but then probably more quilting and fabric-oriented type artwork as well. So I think it's a wonderful collection and a little bit diverse.
You want to talk about
Sure, yeah. So, you know, here we have an example. So we have a quilter creating a fabric piece right next to a photographer who took the subject literally with thread and really captured a really beautiful little image of the yarn and sandwiched between another quilter who was expressing her, and who is right here, Patty Hunter. So if you want to talk about your piece, Patty, I'm loving the mixture. I want to first focus on this one. This is a quilted piece that when I juried it in, I wasn't positive that it actually was fabric, but it's painted over and framed in such a way that it really draws you into the mystery of what it is. I think it's a really well done quilted fabric piece. This piece doesn't have any fabric in it, but it totally took the theme of the thread, and this artist who works with these more metallic materials found a way to take their style and really express what the theme was, and that just thrilled me. I love that. Back over here we have a range of things. We've got painting. This is fabric collage. This is a yarn collage. Here we have a quilted piece. And once again, we sometimes do have quilted pieces in the shows, but this time I think it was really fun to be able to really feature more quilted work. Once again, the creativity of the artist. This is literally a manipulated photograph of a statue, but that really captured the theme of thread with the garments, the traditional Mexican garments. So, bravo, the person really captured it. The little black dress again, painting that really fit right into the theme. And then we have more abstract work. Both of these. And then, the ceramic piece that embraced the theme as well. So, loving it. Here we have literally an abstract piece of artwork that's made from thread. And again, embracing the diverse mediums, the painting, the ceramics, the photography.
This thing's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Mixed media, photography. We've got three-dimensional, and then the glass work. I particularly thought it was fun with the warp and the weft interpreted in glass. And we should probably come around and see the front piece. So again, such a joy to be able to focus or feature quilted artwork. And then I thought the painting was incredibly whimsical. And then I say finally, oh, and actually there's a gorgeous quilt in the front window. Do you want to let's go look at that? So mixed media, including fabric, and then this gorgeous quilt that Rennell Hansen made. You know, colorful, playful.
That's great. Well,
So, yeah.
wonderful show.
Yeah,
Good job.
thank you.
And anything you got out of doing this in particular?
Oh, you know,
Over here.
I'm already a passionate fiber lover, but seeing how people interpret the theme in other mediums was really fun for me.
And
Thanks.
again, you are?
Brescia Kralovic-Logan
And where are we at?
at the Linda Fairley Carpinteria Arts Center.
And you are?
I'm Lorraine, the artist, Lorraine Mullen Kress, and this is one of my oil paintings of horses. I love horses. I've painted horses since I was a child, and this piece, this is an Arabian stallion. I've owned Arabians most of my life. A very spirited, very intelligent horse. This horse, the name of it is Stallion Adorned, and it's a black stallion with the classic ornamentation that is used throughout the Middle East. The tassels, all of the wool is made from sheep. It's handmade, and the little metal details and shells is all handmade. So this stallion, Arabians are famous for being very spirited and hard to handle. So I think this represents the spirit of a stallion. I wanted to capture the realism. I do enjoy painting a horse that is breathing. And so the background, of course, could be a lot of dust. The colors represent all the different glistening of the sun and the dust on the mane. You can see the details, the veins around the face, and the whiskers are on the nose.
Did you use the photos to help you make this?
I have an amazing collection. I have thousands of photo reference from various magazines that I've subscribed to all my life. And I have these photos categorized: running, jumping, close-ups, stallions, mares, foals. So it's a collaboration because I'm a fanatic about the detail and the anatomy. So it's very important to me that I get every curve, every muscle, the bone structure has to be correct. It has to be as perfect as I can make it.
Well, your name again is?
Lorraine Mullen Kress.
And are you online at all?
I moved to Carpinteria recently, and so I don't have a website right now. I have an email. I've painted all my life, but I've had jobs that now I'm retired, so I get to paint all the time now.
Oh, nice. Well, what have your jobs been?
I was a real estate agent in Laguna Beach for 30 years. I worked for, I was volunteer in Laguna Beach. Once you get into the city politics of Laguna, it's pretty hard to get away from that. I was on the design review board. So I kind of had to extricate myself from Laguna Beach to reinvent my passion and my career as an artist.
Here in Carpinteria?
Here in Carpinteria.
Wow, we're fortunate to have you.
Carpinteria, I love this city. Kind of reminds me of what Laguna Beach might have been 75 years ago.
Hi, and you are?
Hi, I'm Amy Rodriguez.
Tell me about your work and what the theme is.
The theme of this show is threads. So I, in my mind, saw obviously skeins of yarn, and I have luckily 2 other photos in the show.
Show me.
And I'll show you this other one. You follow me over here. And over here I have indigenous threads to represent all people around the world and the clothes that they wear and just the history of where it came from, and it was passed down by generation and generation.
What's the image from?
Puerto Vallarta, and a friend of mine, this is their great grandmother and grandfather.
Is it based on an old photo?
It's based on a photo of the statue in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, I see. Neat.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And there's one
There's
more?
one more. I got one more. Over here, I have protective roots, and I was thinking of the show Threads, and what came to mind and what I thought of was just something wrapping itself around each other, and these are protective roots on this plant, which were just natural nature happening, and it was so beautiful to me. I had to take a picture.
Well, hi, and you are?
Cindy Connolly.
Tell me about your painting.
It is some California poppies, and they're painted in watercolor. And to kind of tie into the theme, I stitched them with thread, the leaves and the stamens of the poppies, and waxed the top, and the threads are waxed to kind of stand up a little bit, and just to make it interesting.
You were telling me about how long you've done it?
I have taken art classes all my life, and I studied art, but I have only started learning how to watercolor at the beginning of COVID. And so my friend, I asked her how I want to learn how to watercolor, and she said, well, then you got to paint every day. And so I have every day since, I think, I don't know, it's like 889 days or something like that, without fail.
That was the beginning of COVID?
Beginning of COVID, yeah.
So the poppies are inspired by COVID?
No, they're just inspired by being home and getting out and walking and that kind of stuff, yeah.
And what do you like about doing art?
Oh, it's so, I don't know, it's kind of introspective. I can kind of get lost in just putting down the paint and learning. I mean, I'm really learning a lot because I've focused on watercolors, but I've been taking classes in abstract and mixed media, so it's been really fun to kind of expand and explore.
So you are?
Vera Benson.
Tell me about your pieces.
What?
Tell me about your pieces in the show.
Oh, okay. Well, this piece was just made because I did a lot of sewing and a lot of fabric left over, so I didn't know what to do with it. So I decided to make an art piece out of it.
How did you do it?
Well, I just folded it into a point and glued them on a fabric. around.
Very nice. Can you show me your other piece too?
Right
Why don't
there.
you walk up to it? Excuse us. We're going to talk about Vera's piece here. Tell me about that.
Now this was an area in Italy that we had a house. And we still have the house, but we gave it to one of our sons. And where was the house, Don?
Val d'Aosta,
Aosta.
Italy.
Yeah.
And is it all different fabric? Yes.
Yeah,
What fabrics?
cotton.
Cotton.
Mm-hmm. But this is fabric too, but it's a very thin fabric that I could
really?
use as the rainbow.
Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was glued on. The rest is it all stitched? It's all stitched.
All stitched around the edge so that it wouldn't.
So Vera, you're known for many things as an artist. What else are you known for? Your good work to the environment, and you've been a great person here in town.
Oh, thank
and
you,
the
thank
town
you,
must
thank you.
you dearly.
But I wasn't raised here.
Okay, well, what's your greatest achievement?
I guess the artwork.
Okay.
What would you say?
Well, I think your Carpinteria Valley Association and your land trust work, you just did a wonderful job for the community.
I was born in Bakersfield,
Wow.
so
Well,
I
I'm glad
thought
we got you.
Bakersfield was great until I found somewhere else in California.
Okay. That's funny. Well, thank you very much, Vera. I'm going to grab this microphone from you. And you are?
Renelle Hansen.
Nice to see you, Renelle. Tell me about this piece.
This is called Imagine, and it's a portrait of John Lennon. And I got an image of him. It was an iconic photo from his T-shirt on the photo says New York City. And so I took that image and I just kind of went crazy with it. This area right here is called thread lace. And what it is all sorts of threads put together with some water-soluble stabilizer that you put the thread in, then you stitch all over it, and then you wash away the stabilizer, and it makes a little bit of like thread lace. And then I took it apart and cut it into hair and sewed it back on. A lot of stitching, a lot of thread.
Did you sketch it out first? How did you come up with the design?
What I do is do a drawing of the design, and then I enlarge it at the copy shop so that it's the size I want it. And then I just take each piece and I cut out the pieces, and I use fusible web. So I fuse them on with, it's a heat-sensitive glue. And after I've got everything glued down, then I stitch on it.
Oh, wow. Can you show me the other piece?
Sure.
I'll follow you.
All right.
Why don't you stand on this side, Barbara?
All right.
Let's see. So, tell me about this piece.
This one is called The Brain. And I don't know why, but I always wanted to do an image of the brain. I think it leads back to the time when I had a friend who did a ceramic brain, and she wrote words all over the brain, what the person was thinking. And so I thought I should do a brain image. So I started out by doing the outline of the head, and then I couldn't figure out what I wanted to put in it. So I finally decided, well, thread, of course, because I sew a lot and I like to sew. So I did the same thread lace technique in here. I put threads and I put little shards of fabric and sewed them all down, and then
put the little thought bubbles, these are the thought bubbles, and put it in the brain. And then I had the whole head image done, and I decided that I needed to do a background that had words in it. So I put out a call to all my quilting buddies, and I got back bits of fabric that had words in it. And some of them are newsprint, some of them are like different fabric with words. And just crazy pieced all of those together to put the background. And you know, it's just a fun piece.
Well, good work, Renelle. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Well, hi, and you are?
Birgitte Ibsen. Birgitte Ibsen.
Tell me about your work.
This one, it's 30, no, I think it's 30 by 40 inches, and it was done 10 years ago in my studio by very big brushes and palette knives, mostly palette knives. And before I started out, I realized the colors I was going to use in the composition. I already knew that. Usually I have the colors prepared, but otherwise I'm kind of, whatever happens, happens. That's my motto. And that's usually what it is with anything that I paint. And this one here was very fast. I was kind of dancing while I did it. It was as if I was composing a piece of music and the palette knife was just going crazy, you know? And and the color, and I knew that I had to intertwine those colors so they had to be balanced, you know? But at the same time, it was very, very spontaneous, very spontaneous. I never stopped. When I started, I finished it in one. I didn't go back the next day. I did it the same day in one.
Wonderful.
And this one here, this was completely different. I think I was getting frustrated, and a friend of mine had given me these tiny, tiny canvases. I think it's 8 by 10, and I didn't really know what I was going to do, so I got the colors ready as usual, and then it's very hard to explain the technique that I used because it was something I'd never done before. It was actually, it's hard to explain it, but I was actually painting in the blind, and this is going to sound completely insane. I had two canvases, 8 by 10, that I was going to use both of them. I actually have two of these, and they're not exactly the same, but this is going to be so hard to explain.
Were you not looking kind of defocused?
Yeah, very much so. Defocused, exactly. It was almost as if, you know, whatever happened, happened. And that's what's so much fun.
That's a good philosophy. Tell me more about that philosophy.
Well, I've always had that because...
why is it a good one to have?
For me it is. Personally, you know.
Why? It's easier to put up with whatever you have?
For some reason, it works better for me that way. It's almost as if I ask for help from somewhere, you know, and then it's so hard to explain the process because it's not structured. As I said, it's very impulsive in a way, and it depends a lot on probably how I'm feeling that day too. There's a lot of emotion involved in the process. And I have a philosophy, personal philosophy, that I can't leave my garage or studio until I leave with something I'm somewhat satisfied with. And a lot of times I have to redo it that same day, you know. And that's what's so great about acrylics. You can do that, you know. You don't have this finished product and then it's completely finished. You can finagle it, you can work with it, you know. And you can end up with a product that you like. And but this one is so hard to explain. I actually had two canvases, and
well, you do great work. And any last thoughts?
Yeah, I certainly do. when people paint, I think the most important thing is that they don't think about what other people expect them to do. They're free enough to just do what they know that they can do and then follow that. Because there is no right, there is no wrong. All there is expressing yourself. And if it feels that you express something that's important to you, then that's it, isn't it?
That's well put. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I felt like it was one of his pictures that you could look at.
Wow, I'm backing up too. Hey Gary, who's going to get out first?
As a photographer, you would probably like this. I had a photographer friend once. When I got this power chair, he said, "Man, I could really use something like that in my photography."
You're right. Good point.
Oh, you move.
Can I hire you out?
No, I have an extra chair.
Well, it's good to know. Thanks, Gary.
You're welcome.
Good show.